and this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com, coming to you this time in Leeds, UK, witnessing the world. And I've just been driving from North Wales to Leeds and listening to the radio. It's the 20th of April 2018, and on the radio it's been announced that Arsene Wenger, Arsenal manager, is retiring. Well, that's very interesting, and I'm sure people will have a lot of comments about that, particularly football supporters, football fans, Arsenal fans. But I just find it fascinating that that must have been announced 10, 12, 15 times in my 3.5 hour journey here, as if it's of world importance. Now, I'm not criticising, knocking, judging football fans and the business of football as a sport. But after each news report, which is 4 or 5 minutes, they'll spend 3.5 minutes of that time reporting Arsene Wenger and talking football. And then the second news item was a poor girl that was killed in a fire in London. And then the Syria situation and what's going on with the bombings in Syria with America and France and Britain's collaboration alliance, which is massively world changing, and we really need to know what's going on there. And then in Salisbury, they're talking about nerve agents that have been deposited by the Russians for the attempted murder on the 2 spies, and the fact that Salisbury might be contaminated with a nerve agent, a cloud of gas or whatever. Now, the last 3 things are really important news items. The football, okay, whatever your priorities are, but just witnessing that and hearing that, and I very rarely listen to the news this much, but I'm travelling and I thought I'd put it on for traffic reports. Just find it massively interesting. It just confirms my belief system that whatever you think about sport, and there's no judgment, I enjoy sport, but it is created, in my opinion, as a diversion to the mass population, just like the soaps are on television, just like all the celebrity stuff and quizzes and gambling and bingo and all these trivial things, retail purchases. They're just chewing gum for the mind, really, when there's massive things of great importance and society and human consequences that are just being put to the back of the news schedule, given lip service, if you like, that are world-changing, life-changing, and really, really important for us to know. There's this battle going on between good and evil, light and dark. And I'm not going to get down and depressed by that. I'm going to witness that also. But it is a lesson in what the media are doing, what the authorities are doing in terms of just giving minimum airtime to what is quite often false reporting on these really important things, and then spending most of the time talking about things that really are of no consequence. I mean, Arsene Wenger has made millions of pounds managing a football team with football players who make millions of pounds, and to me that's corrupt and obscene, even though I quite like sport and football. But then you've got some poor girl who has died, and it's educationally subnormal person who's died in a fire, and you've got contaminated or alleged contaminated town, Salisbury city, in the aftermath of the alleged Russian situation, and then you've got continued unrest all over the world, and that just takes second place. I know right back through history that things like the Romans in the amphitheatres, and they used to throw the Christians to the lions for entertainment. The Olympic Games, and throughout history, all these things have been to create champions, if you like, from society that the people can get behind. They had heroes, people chosen to represent a town, and that became, you know, the sports teams that we have now. Although, to be said, I don't think there's many Manchester people in Manchester United or Manchester City football team, or probably not many people from Arsenal in the Arsenal football team. Maybe more people who are more into football than me might be able to qualify that, but these teams are massively cash rich and can buy people from all over the world, so you're not really cheering on people from your local village, town, city or area. But that aside, what's happening is the authorities within, you know, the government and the city leaders, the town leaders, the community leaders, religious leaders know that they can amuse the masses, and the masses get involved in this, the people, you and me, society, whilst they get on with the business of making money for themselves and being more corrupt and hiding from us as a society, as a people, what's really going on. Don't be fooled. When you see a news item, always ask this question: who benefits from this? Whether it's a war, whether it's a terrorist attack, whether it's a political decision, a religious thing, something going on in society, in the community, ask who benefits. And then get the real facts, not the assumed facts, not the second-hand facts, not the rumours, and not even what's being reported. Really do your research and find out what's going on. But don't get stressed about it, just do it with interest. I observe and witness with interest. As I witness the world, as a witness, I stay in my place of peace and happiness and well-being. But I'm just amazed at how many people, if you like, their evening is dictated by how good the television is that night. And if it's a poor programme schedule, well, I think they are almost frightened of having a conversation or doing something to amuse themselves. Turn the television off, turn the news off, listen to it rarely. And if you do listen to it, just disconnect from it, just detach from it, don't believe it, because most of it is false reporting. It's got its own agenda, which is another subject. But the bias is to fool us into believing that what they're saying is true. They are manipulating us through the media. I did a workshop a couple of nights ago in Roche-on-Sea, and I was talking about television, which is lie vision, telling lies and seeing pictures and images on the screen which really aren't representative of the truth and what's really going on. Lie vision. When Marconi released the first radio transmitters, they realised that the power of manipulating the public through news reports, propaganda really, they called it the big lie about the war, knowing that what was being transmitted in Britain was being listened to in Germany and Poland and these places that we were invading. I can only encourage you to not believe what they say on television or any media or any report. Do your own research, witness it and keep your power up, stay positive and dwell on the things that are good news in the world